Hello? Today, we gather here at my office. We have a investor meeting coming up, going over the state of the Koroto Shack in 2025. As you can see, I have done a very bad photoshopping job because the thing right there, you could literally see the background. We're not going to worry about that, okay? So, I have made a presentation. Oh, where's my scene? I have made a presentation. I made a presentation, right? Koroto Inc. 2025. I'm being blinded by the projector. It's fine. I forgot to fix that. The intern had to fix the date format because it's like in a weird month to day to year. I'm gonna get him to fix that. So okay, let's stop goofing around. Let's stop goofing around. This, I was actually trying to make sure that it works, but I don't want to be like this all the time, you know, because there's an overlay on my face. It's like fancy and stuff. I have a projector. I don't. What do we have on the agenda? Let's not think about the agenda, okay? Because I don't think we're gonna have financials. Okay. So as you can see, we have the current setup of what we're doing. I'm gonna put my face right there. We have the Koroto's Mystery Shack, we have Koroto TV, and we have live streams. And once again, the intern messed up and said something cool here, get a new coffee machine. We're not gonna worry about that. Okay. So this is what we're gonna be talking about. Let's not worry about that. The main channel. What is going on the main channel? Obviously, number one, overanalyzing Attack on Titan. As we calculated, that is not ending this year. Unfortunately. Unfortunately, I don't think it's physically possible. Maybe, but I don't think so. I think the math works out that it's going to be like 500 days, which is a bit longer than 1 year. So yes, but that is continuing. Nothing's changing about that. That's staying as it is. Avatar. I've been focusing on Avatar a ton. And eventually, I want to do like a Koroto Tendo Direct, something like that, yeah. Eventually, I want to do a dedicated video on Avatar, and you might have noticed that that's basically what I'm doing on every single episode. I just want to go through it all, and eventually talk about Korra as well. I've made one video on Korra, we need to fix that. Technically two. So that is also going smoothly, nothing's changing about Avatar. Third, Breaking Bad. I made one video on Breaking Bad. One video. This is the year where I want to start working on it a lot more. I don't think I'm gonna launch it alongside overanalyzing in like the same very consistent manner that it's coming out like every single 2 weeks. But Breaking Bad is happening this year. I don't know the format. We're gonna figure that one out. But Breaking Bad is on the cards. It is happening 100%. Next up, and this is actually something that I've been thinking about how to balance with everything else that I'm doing. Shorter videos. Basically, I've been thinking for a long time that the main channel is doing too much. If you look at the average length of a single Koroto video, you might have noticed that it is a upward sloping function, and it sometimes peaks to an hour. That is unsustainable. It is low-key driving me insane. So I've been trying to figure out a way where I can focus on like the big overanalyzing Attack on Titan videos while still throwing in like a little thing that, because right now the biggest problem with the main channel is I have this, is it gonna be big and highly produced and fancy enough for the main channel? If not, I might do it for the second channel. I never end up doing it for the second channel. So I want to figure out a middle road where I can do shorter, less planned out things for the main channel as well. The Last of Us series in 2023 was a test run of that. It almost killed me. It was too much. Too much. So we're not going to do that. Instead, I think I want to go for something that is a bit closer to what I did with the Attack on Titan like retrospective video thingy. And I want to mix in usual like scripted segments, right? I'm playing around with this idea. There is a shorter video coming this upcoming week on the main channel as well, but that's not really this. Basically, you will see what I mean, hopefully. I want to move away from doing just 60-minute videos. because otherwise there's a ton of stuff I never talk about. And on a very similar note, more variety and more experiments. The main channel right now is very formulaic. Very formulaic. If you go back to like 2021, I was doing videos on all kinds of things. Now, granted, a lot of those videos were very bad, but with the experience we have gathered over these past couple of years, I want to try doing more things. Again, the Attack on Titan retrospective video thingy was a test run of that. Of me just yapping with no script. No, well, I did have a script, but it wasn't like an actual script. It was just notes. I want to do more of that. More goofs and gaffs, sort of like I do on the second channel, but just slightly more produced. That is the plan. We will see whether or not this happens. Finally, game videos. I have long talked about my obsession with Elden Ring and why I believe it is one of the greatest video games ever created. So I have been long thinking about this prospect of potentially doing a video essay type of sorts on Elden Ring. Funny thing is, before Koroto's Mystery Shack existed, there was another channel. A channel that none of you have seen. A channel with every single one of its videos turned to private that did video essays on video games. So maybe it's gonna go full circle and we're going to go back to video games. Maybe. Because I think I can, like, the big idea I had for Elden Ring is really framing it from the perspective of storytelling in terms of immersing the viewer in the, like, not immersing the viewer, immersing the player in the same way people get immersed into like an anime series or something. If I ever do that, that's the plan. That's the main channel. The main channel is like a giant that is very hard to change. So we'll see whether or not if any of these things ever come true. Those are the plans for the main channel. There's a lot more that might or might not happen. This is the agenda for 2025. As you might notice, The Walking Dead is still not mentioned here. I don't know when I'm gonna finish it. I don't. It might eventually be one of these variety experiment videos. We'll see what happens with that. Because I'll spoil it. The next video on the main channel is a Walking Dead video. It's just not the retrospective. I don't know when the retrospective's ending. Basically more of the same, but also less insanity from yours truly. Next up, the second channel. The second channel has been an absolute mess. An absolute hodgepodge of ideas, concepts, and weirdness. That will continue. So obviously, this is the place where I yap about all the news. That will continue, and I hope to somehow rope in more of the main channel here as well. Another thing I want to start doing is more very low-key reviews. Because again, the big problem with the main channel is that I need to think everything through. I need to write a script. I also want to just yap about stuff that I'm not thinking about too much. So think of it in the same way as... what would be a good comparison? Someone like Charlie, for example. Right? Moist Critical. Just yapping about things that I've watched and things that I don't like. That kind of vibe. I've done a few of those videos. I did Squid Game. I did House of the Dragon. I did, what's it called? The Don. More of that. Podcast. I have been talking about a podcast for the past 3 years, so I don't think this is happening. Let's be real. I don't think I'm ever actually making a podcast. New Reacts format. This is something that I've been thinking about a lot. We have been talking about a lot of YouTube videos, all that, right? But I've been thinking of a way to do something that I sort of already talked about with doing like these low-key reviews. I've been thinking of a way to do reactions to things that are not just reactions. Let me explain. So, for the longest time, I have talked about I'm gonna watch Hunter x Hunter. I haven't watched Hunter x Hunter. So, I'm thinking about how do we do that? I don't want to just record me watching stuff. That's boring. Right? So instead, I am thinking about this format where I would be recording myself just watching, but it would be highly edited and a lot more snappy, and sometimes I just intersperse my yapping, right? So it's like a pseudo review, pseudo reaction, pseudo first impressions, pseudo the One Piece saga all over again. It's all of these things in one. That's what I'm thinking about. I don't know if I'm gonna do it, and that I'm almost tempted to push over to the main channel. We'll see what happens. But this is something I'm considering. This is something I'm considering because it's something that I enjoy watching myself. So why not do it myself? And also, obviously, One Piece chapters and everything else, that's not changing. All of this is just new stuff that I want to do that I'm probably not going to do. But maybe. Okay. Live streams. Live streams. The Dark Souls saga. I am playing through all the Dark Souls games 100%. Once again, the intern forgot to remove the backgrounds. Ignore that. Elden Ring Night Rain, we are playing on day 1. More games. I want to play more games on stream because that way I have an excuse to play more games. That's why we're playing more games. Marathon stream. And that goes hand in hand with the main channel stream. I have long been talking about, if I did something special, then I would do a weird challenge, right? And I feel like I've been streaming on the second channel for long enough. I have all of these little goofy things I can cut to, you know? All of these little goofy things, all these goofy transitions. I can say cinema. Just on the fly, right? So, what I've actually been doing for this longest time is building up the resources to manage something big. So what if one day, suddenly, on the Koroto's Mystery Shack YouTube channel, I go live with a marathon stream with goals, stretch goals, fun things all along the way, certain like scripted bits, certain bits, and everything else like that. Is this gonna happen this year? Who knows? There has been a goal I've had with content creation for a long time, and if I could make it happen, that'd be great. That'd be great. That would have to happen on the main channel though. What else do we have in here? Oh, it's just us. So this, in the appendix, I just put pictures of Appa. That's it. So this is the state of the Koroto Shack. These are the plans that we have for the next year. I think it broke. What is going on with my face? Why am I completely transparent? Lore analysis and character analysis of Dark Souls. With Dark Souls, I have a bit of a bit of a separate thing. So if we literally just a collection of pictures of Appa. So what I mean by game videos on the main channel, I sort of also would like to do something along the lines of just playing a game and detailing my journey through the game, something like that, right? And I think that could also be interesting in terms of telling a narrative of my experience with it. So it would sort of be a game review, but sort of first impressions, but also sort of a live gameplay type of thing, you know? It's something, again, I've seen speedrunners do with speedruns, and I think it would be cool to adapt something like that, where, like, let's say right now, we go to the Koroto TV channel, right? And I literally just took this entire playlist of Dark Souls, right? Where it's just me playing the game. And from all of these videos, I would create a cohesive narrative of my first time playing through Dark Souls. And in between all of that, like, actual scripted yapping, I would have certain bits where I actually show my first initial run through the game. Right? So it wouldn't be as I did with the One Piece saga, for example. Initially, I thought, or something like that. I would actually have that to immediately show you. And I think that would be a very nice way where I could justify doing these big projects on the main channel, and then moving them on over to the main, rather starting them on the second channel, then moving them to the main channel. Stuff like that. And with something like Dark Souls, for example, I also don't need to worry about, like, rushing things out, because it's like, this is not a new thing, it's an old game. There are no spoilers, no weird algorithm shenanigans, it's just a thing I can work on in the background for however long it needs to be worked on. A lot of this, I take inspiration from speedrunners, and CDog, VA, Connor, is another channel that I think is doing really cool things with gameplay videos. So he plays entire games and then edits them down. Well, I mean, he doesn't do it. I think it's Mudon who edits them down. But this kind of format, right? So this is where a lot of these ideas are coming from. Because, like I said, like, the biggest thing that is holding back the main channel, well, number one, it's editing, right? Because, you know, isekaiing yourself into a random scene takes a lot of time, actually. But it's also like I have this weird obsession with having to script everything out to like a T. And I know that I need a structure, otherwise I'm gonna go on a yapping session for 3 hours, but I think I do it like too much, to the point of scripting out random sentences that I know I don't need to script out. And this year, I want to move away from that. Like, obviously, I will still structure my thoughts, still have scripts, everything else, but I need to, like, iron out those edges that are just taking up time pointlessly. That is the biggest strength that has allowed me to do these insane videos on a basically weekly basis. Optimizing everything. I have templates for everything, I have presets for everything, I have everything figured out. So now, we are moving on to the next stage of working on me. We need to fix me. And after that, I think Koroto's Mystery Shack is going to level up once again. I say that. Is it gonna happen? I don't know. I don't know. Books and tropes. She's covered Hunter x Hunter, somewhat similar to what you described. Now she's into Berserk and One Piece. I think I've heard of Books and Tropes. Hold up. Oh yeah, I've seen her stuff. Wait, is this the new? I can't look at that. I think I saw the new chapter. I'm not looking at that. Pretty sure that was the next chapter. Most of these will probably not happen, but it will still be interesting to come back to next year and see what I did, see what I didn't do. The one thing that's probably going to remain the same because it's in a place that I really, really like is Attack on Titan. Well, I say that, but let me just bring it up. Because I was looking at this for myself, right? I don't really notice it myself that much because I'm constantly working on it. I was about to say that, like, Attack on Titan is in a place that I like and it's not really going to change. But that's a lie. It is already massively changed, even over the course of just this year. Let's look at Season 1. Even, like, small things like the way I do backgrounds and stuff, that is completely different. This also, I know it has, like, a bunch of static shots and stuff like that. I don't do these anymore. These do have memes, though. But now, in this latest video, for example, I am isekaiing myself into the show. This takes a lot of time. And I'm doing, like, a bunch of different things on here that most people probably don't really think about, but these videos have changed a lot. They have a lot more memes and stuff. So that's not really true either. But structurally, this is the thing that's going to basically be the same. Everything else around that might change a little bit this next year. Videos formatted like that are really good in my opinion. Very good idea. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Because bringing games to the main channel, that's like the thing that I'm most scared about. I'm thinking about maybe like keeping the games to the second channel, but the main channel could see like, because obviously everything I do, like the reason why I started doing on-camera segments on the main channel is because I started doing it for the second channel, right? If you haven't noticed, I test a lot of different things on this channel. This channel is the testing grounds for a lot of my different ideas. So even if I kept like the games on here, the way I probably do stuff would still move to the second channel in some capacity. That is the state of Koroto's Mystery Shack, though. Last time, we get to look at the appendix. One final time. We don't get the lore on your channel. That would have to be in one of the big events. One of the big events. I have a lot of lore. I have like 3 separate channels that I could show you. And every single channel is an iteration on the last. It's actually like fascinating. Because if you think like my first videos on this channel are bad, well, not on this channel, the main channel are bad, then you've got another thing coming. One day. New gameplay of other games. Honestly, it just depends on what I'm playing, what I'm interested in myself. Really. Because everything I play nowadays is just kind of like if it's a fun stream game, I'll play it, sure, but it really depends on the vibe. I'm playing things like a lot less in general just because I'm working on the main channel a ton. But yeah, if something comes along that I'm interested in, absolutely. Absolutely. I've been thinking about like if I end up doing the entire like Dark Souls trilogy, what would I do next? And I'm not entirely sure. Not entirely sure. We'll see what happens after that. Maybe we'll do hardcore Minecraft. I'm gonna die in like 3 days.